Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday morning. It is 5:30 in the morning. I finally made my way back in these mountains here in the state of Virginia, and it's day one of rifle season. I've got my old 30-30 that I killed my first deer with, and the only deer that I ever killed with the gun. Back in 1978 at this time, just to show you what the difference is. When I killed my first deer, it was 17 degrees with a foot of snow on the ground. Very, very cold, and still snowing at that time. So me and my dad walked into Wolf Creek Mountain, got up at 4:30 in the morning, walked in there, and I killed my first deer with this 30-30. So hopefully today, the second deer will be killed with it. So that's what's going on right now. I'm sitting in this huntsman shelter that they sent me. I brought it in here a couple of days prior to season and set it up. And most of the time I get busted when I walk in here this early in the morning, but this morning I never got busted, so maybe we will get lucky today. Anyway, good luck to everyone else out there that's hunting, and let's just stay tuned and we'll see what happens. Had a hunger pain hit me there, you all. You ever had that happen to you? One of my favorite skinning knives made by Uncle Sasquatch outdoors. Keep that thing in my pack. Sounded like I heard some coyotes there a minute ago, you guys, way off. Way off in the distance. We still got about an hour before daylight. So that's what's going on right now. Well, you all, it's 9 a.m. It's been daylight 2 hours. So far, all I've seen are birds flying through the air. That's the way it goes. You do all that preparation, you get ready, you get excited, and you put your blind up and everything, or get your stand up in your tree, and then it's a game of patience. That's all there is to it. There's no question about it. You just have to be patient and wait on your game to show up. Because if you've done a good scouting job and you're in a place where there's plenty of deer, sooner or later you're gonna get your chance. And when that time comes, don't blow it. So that's what's going on right now. I thought I'd just check in there just a minute. I heard one shot this morning about 7:30, sounding like it's probably about 2 miles away. So I don't know, they shot one time, so maybe they killed their deer with that first shot. So what I'm gonna do here just in a few minutes is I'm gonna get outside this blind right here so that I can stand straight up and stretch my neck and back and stuff. It's a little bit, you know, when you're hunting on the level, this blind is really good when you're just looking level, but if you're trying to look uphill, it's hard on your neck, so you got to get down and, you know, sort of stare up that way. I do like this little window in this thing, though, because that lets you just sit right here and just look out to the left. Of course, I can open that window right there, and I can also open up the back window and look all the way around this thing. So But you can actually see out of this blind pretty good. Not for a long distance is really good, but up close you can see out of it really, really good. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll check back in later if I see anything. And what we'll do is I'll just hunt and hunt and hunt and just see what happens and just go day 1, day 2, day 3, however many days I hunt for this particular video. And an old squirrel seen me. Well, at least I see a squirrel up there. I should take his 30-30 and crack him in the pumpkin head. Sure. I don't know if you all heard that shot or not. I've been hearing all kind of shooting over on the other mountain over there. Apparently, somebody has waited until opening day to sight their rifle in. Because I'm hearing shot after shot after shot. Surely even if you gut shot a deer, you'd have got it on the ground by now. So that's what's going on. I hear somebody just bang, bang, banging away. Of course, the logger's about 2 miles up on the mountain there sawing trees down too. Every once in a while, you can hear them big old poplars popping the ground. But for me, I have seen no deer yet. But that's just the way it is when you're deer hunting. So, if I see anything, I'll see if I can turn the camera on. We'll take a look. Meanwhile, in the backyard, while I'm up in my stand, there is a nice little fat spiked buck munching down on my grass. Boy, ain't he one lucky dude. You see what time it is? It's 9:05. You nasty little rascal. Good morning, you guys. It is day 3. So far, no good. I hunted a half a day yesterday. I had a funeral I had to go to. And when I got done with that, it was fairly early, so I come on in the mountains to my stand, and I stayed there for about 3 hours, and I thought I wasn't going to see anything, so I got up and left, and sure enough, as I was going out, I jumped this very, very nice big buck deer who decided that he wasn't going to hang around and let me shoot him. So I can't begrudge him that. Well, I got up this morning, right at the crack of dawn, walked in here. It's 30 degrees, and it was crunchy cold. I never made no noise. I got in my stand here, it's where I'm sitting right now. About 15 minutes later, I heard the brush break over here to the right-hand side of me, and sure enough, probably that same deer. He started snorting, and up the mountain he went. So that's what it's looking like today. Now, it just started to rain, so I went ahead and pulled the windows up in this blind. You can see I got this little window right here behind me open so I can look up the mountain. But I can see all the way around me anyway. So that's what it looks like right now. If I see anything else, guys, I'll let you in on it, okay? Other than that, I guess that'll be it for this video if I don't see something to shoot. But it looks like this rain is going to turn to snow. So if it does turn to snow, I'll let some of you southern folk down in South Carolina and places like that see what snow looks like. So long for now, guys. You ain't gonna believe this. I can't believe it either. The buck deer that I've been watching for every day now, I've done seen him 3 times. It hadn't been 5 minutes since I walked across that scrape right down there. And apparently, that deer just winded me at 40 or 50 yards away. He come down there to that scrape, and then he bolted. I know good and well that deer smelled me. It ain't been 5 minutes. I've been watching for this deer. I've done seen him 3 times. Yesterday, I screwed up. I was texting with my wife at 12 o'clock, and this deer walked right straight out in front of me. Now, I just seen 2 does coming up here before I got into this stand this morning. Right there, that deer apparently just winded me. And he's a pretty nice buck too. He's not huge, but he's got a really nice rack on him. So, one thing I know to do is hang around here and see what happens this morning. That is absolutely crazy. I just walked by right down there. So you all, a buck deer, especially one like this one I've been seeing check his scrape. He come out yesterday right at 12 o'clock. That's when I was texting with my wife. Right at 12 o'clock. These things come out of the brush, which is on both sides of me here. They go into the open, and they know when they're in the open. That old deer knows when he gets into that opening, he don't need to hang around very long. So when he comes out down there, he can smell that scrape. He don't have to go stick his nose in that scrape. Either that deer just smelled me, the wind's in my face right now, or he smelled them 2 deer across the way over there that just saw me coming up the holler. That makes more sense to me now. The wind is coming this way. I don't believe that deer smelled me. I believe that deer smelled them 2 does that he's been waiting on to make love to. So, buck deer, when they're hunting the scrapes, it ain't like when they're feeding. They'll stroll out there and eat and just goof off while they're eating. But when they're hunting does, they're very sensitive to smell, noise, and everything else. They're always on the lookout. But they will come down into the opening, and they will get back into the brush as fast as they can if they don't see any deer. So I think that's what's happening. I think that deer smelled them two does that I just seen right on top of that ridge down there. So maybe he'll come back. I don't know. It's about 7:30 in the morning, and I was just a little late coming in here this morning. Now you all, I knew that the deer would be active this morning. We had a thunderstorm last night about 8:30 in the evening. I mean, it was thundering and lightning just like it was summertime. That means this time of the year it's likely to snow in the next 4 to 5 days, which will be good for deer hunting. But I knew when I got up this morning I was just a fuzz late, which wouldn't have made any difference anyway as far as you killing a deer, because this is a game, you guys, of luck. You're lucky if you can be here at the right time when that deer takes the fatal step and stops somewhere. Now, I'm sitting about almost 90 yards from that scrape, which is a good distance from a rifle. There's no way, you guys, that there's trees in between there. For some reason or another, every time that deer pops out, he gets in behind them trees, and I can't see him through the scope until he decides to get out of Dodge. So what I'm hoping this morning is that them does that I just seen, I hope he gets his job done with them and comes up here and decides he's going to eat a little while in the holler. Because this old boy is one smart deer. There's no question about it. And like I said, it's a game of luck. You're lucky if the deer you're looking for walks out and stops and gives you a chance to take a shot at it. So far he ain't come back, you guys. It's been about an hour. My guess he's down there talking to them does that I seen coming up the holler this morning. You know, a lot of people, when they watch hunting shows on television, these big productions, they think that's the way that typical whitetail hunting is, but that's not the way it is. When you're hunting farmed deer, like most of them are hunting on TV, where they're in Texas or wherever they are, them animals has been bred and farmed just like cows, and you can pretty much predict to a customer that's paying you $5,000 to shoot one of them, you can predict that man's going to see a deer to shoot. That ain't the way it is in real life. Here I'm sitting in the Allegheny Mountains, you know, the Appalachian Mountains. Been doing it all my life since I was able to hunt. And it's just a game where you're lucky if you can see the deer that you want to shoot. Now, the first morning I came in here, I jumped this deer, I spooked this deer. I called for 4 hours. The deer finally came out, but he came out behind the trees. I could not get a shot at him. Next day, the same thing, only I didn't jump him. He came out, which was yesterday. He walked out in front of me. I couldn't get a shot at him. So here I am this morning, and it's the very same deer. I know it is, because there's a scrape that he made down there, and he's watching that scrape. So he's probably not staying more than 100 yards from where I'm sitting right now. He don't smell me, obviously, or he'd be snorting. This morning when he ran, he did not snort, which to me means that he smelled those deer coming up the holler and he ran to meet them, because he don't want some other buck coming in here in his territory where he's trying to dominate the situation and breed those deer. So just a game of luck, and that's all I'm doing. I'm sitting here watching down this direction, because every time I see this deer, he comes out of the woods right over there. It's time to do a little calling, you all. With that little call, you guys, I've called in lots of deer. Haven't killed a lot of them, but I've called them in. You got to understand that when you're using a caller, deer just ain't going to run to that call. They generally will sneak to see if they can see the deer that's making that noise. A lot of times they will circle you and smell you before they even come in. That's one of the things you have to remember when you're using a deer caller. You got to understand that most of the time a deer, now I have had them run straight to the caller, but most of them were just crazy little old youngsters that didn't know what was going on. Older deer will sneak and see if they can see that other deer. If they don't see that other deer, generally they're not coming to where that noise is being made. I've had that happen with this buck already. I called yesterday for 4 hours straight, off and on. Finally, that deer walked out in front of me. Well, I was on the cell phone talking to my wife. So the deer got away. My bad. But he didn't just come running in like you see a lot of these things happening on the internet, where people are calling an aggressive buck, and the aggressive buck just comes chasing and running in. Now that can happen. I'm not saying it don't, but not generally. So what I'm doing now is I'm making a doe call and making it sound like there's a buck with the doe, which the buck that I'm trying to shoot here, maybe he will come in jealousy to see what's going on. Bucks don't normally make really loud sounds, you all, when they grunt. It's really hard to hear one grunt. I've heard them grunt before, but they grunt more softly. They don't grunt very, very loud at all. So a lot of times, you guys, the deer that you're trying to call in, especially if he's an old timer, he don't see you nor smell you after he does that circle. He's probably going to smell a rat, and you the rat he's going to smell, and he's probably going to book it on out of Dodge, knowing that it wouldn't be a good idea to hang around in that area. Well, you all, I've been here for 7.5 hours. Since this morning, I have not seen one thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to retire to the lazy boy down at the house, see if I can find me a good bowl of soup to eat, another cup of good coffee, and that's just the way it is. Hunting is just a game where you have to have patience to get that animal. Now, my guess is that this morning, and I've said this in one of the other videos, that deer has smelled them 2 does down there on that ridge, and he's chasing them around now and staying with them, and that's what they do. A lot of times they'll hang out with them until they get to breed them. So what I'm going to do is go to the house. I think I'm going to upload what footage I've got of hunting this year so far. So far, there's no game I have killed no game. So that's just the way it is. Anyway, Slickhead Day is coming on Saturday. I don't really want to shoot a slickhead, but to get some deer meat, I will shoot a slickhead. So with that, you all, may the good Lord bless you. Until next time, happy hunting. So long for now.